Now, I also want to talk about the biggest misconception that people make when starting an online business, and that is, I need to get my followers first before I start promoting anything.
Wake up, step into the world outside. The future never looks so bright. Can't you hear it calling us?
Come check this out. It's probably my most epic morning view yet.
Leave all of your cares behind. You never know where you might find. Sunny days are coming up. Dreaming of tomorrow, soaking up the sun. We can sit and talk about it, or we could run away, 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 away. We don't have to stay, we could run away, away, away.
What an epic spot for a morning, huh? Pretty cool. And it's just down the road from where I am right now. Today I'm in Tamborine Mountain, and as you can see, no one around. So right now, Tamborine National Park. If it was like last week, it would have been school holidays still, and we would have been probably with a lot more people. But Tamborine Mountain's this little quaint mountain town. Wow. Birds are loud today. About 40 minutes from the Gold Coast, or from the main parts of the Gold Coast. It's still on the Gold Coast. But I came up here for the first time just the other week, and I was pretty amazed. Like, it was really cool. I came up here with a girl I was dating at the time, and we went for a walk on this very track that I'm going to be walking at today. Found this amazing waterfall, so we'll get to that soon. But there's some pretty amazing views from up here. And I love just being at the top of a mountain and just looking out, especially when there was clouds like there were this morning. But today I'm talking about how I make money living in a van. I'm going to talk about all the things that I've done while I've been in the van, but I'm going to talk about the things that I did before the van as well that you could do while living in a van, because I think I have a lot of experience in being able to help people. Look at this stuff. So good. A lot of experience for myself, and I think that it just takes a little bit of inspiration from someone who's been there and done that before you in order for you to realize that you can do it too. Because if you don't know yet, I've built 2 6-figure online businesses. Once you do it one time, it becomes easier, just like anything, right? Like once you learn how to walk for the first time, it becomes easier and easier, and then all of a sudden you're just walking without even thinking about it. Now, you probably can't build a business without thinking about it, but it does become that little bit easier the second time, and I'm actually about to start another one very soon with a friend. So I did this TikTok video a couple of weeks ago where I talked about all of the different ways, and I think that was 3, 6, 9, I think I had like 12 different ways that I've made money online. So obviously you can work a job while being in a van, and obviously you could do little bits and pieces in different towns that you go to. But what I'm going to share with you today are the ways that you can make money sustainably long term while living in a van for as long as you want. If you want to do it for years, months, whatever you want to do. And it can be done by virtually anyone. I used to be a tradie. I didn't know anything about online business. I didn't know anything about online marketing. But I made a decision that I wanted to actually learn how to do that. And the reason why I made a decision is because I wanted to live life on my terms. I didn't want anyone to dictate where I could go, where I could work from, when I could travel, the times that I had to work. I wanted to be able to take full control of that. And it wasn't easy in the beginning, definitely not easy. But once you make a commitment to that, then that's when everything can change. So let's start this walk and we'll dive into it. Now, when I made that video on TikTok, I talked about 12 different ways. I'm going to group a few of them together because a lot of them can be grouped together. So like online business, online products can be grouped together, things like that. But first off, I'm going to talk about affiliate marketing because it's my favorite way to make money right now. Over the last few months, probably 3 or 4 months, it's really the only thing that I've been doing. I took a step back from doing any client work and just started focusing a little bit more on affiliate marketing because I wanted to work less, but I still wanted to make a little bit of income. And I've been promoting this product so far. Last month I made about $7,000 US dollars, which is about 11,000 Australian dollars. And affiliate marketing is essentially finding someone else's product, promoting that product for them. So essentially you're becoming the marketer for that product, and then you get a commission. So companies around the world have affiliate programs. Probably the most popular one would be Amazon. It's also probably one of the hardest ones. So if you were to start affiliate marketing, I wouldn't start with that one. But I think the secret to affiliate marketing is finding a product that people need. So not so much what they want, because it's a little bit like Groundhog Day, trying to convince people. But the product that I've been promoting recently has been something that they need to build an online business. So like it's a full marketing solution in order to run their online business. Plus it's they've got a lifetime deal right now, so it makes it easier to promote because the deal is so good. And that's why I've done so well from it for the last month. So that's my favorite way. I've also done that in all my businesses. So in my first one, I remember we had quite a big email list. We promoted this affiliate product, and just in the 7 days, I did about 15 to 20 minutes of work each day. And it brought in, we did $9,000 US in sales, $8,000 or $9,000 US in sales, and we got a 50% commission for that. So that's what, $4,500 US, which is about $7,000 for that week, right? So super cool. And that was just with 15 minutes of work. Now, it doesn't always happen that way. I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen. In order to before I made my first affiliate commission, I probably put in hundreds of hours of work. But that's the power of if you have an audience. You can use affiliate marketing. You can use other people's products to grow your business, even if you don't have a product yet.
I got no worries, got me, no. I got no problems, I can see.
Now, the next way, and probably the best way, especially if you're getting started, is to use your own skills and become either a freelancer or build an agency. So I've done both of those things, where I've used my skills as a marketer. So whether that's building funnels or virtual summits or running Facebook ads for people. And initially when I got started, I was essentially a freelancer because I was the only one who was doing the work. But then as I decided to commit to that, I built an agency where I was the main go-to person, but then I had 3 contractors working for me, and we started just scaling up and doing bigger projects. And yeah, it's a really great way to do it. Now, the downside of that is you sort of like a job, because you always have to do things for your clients, right? So you're always at their peril because, they've got targets to hit. They've got times that they want to get stuff done, which is the reason why I didn't want to do that. I wanted a little bit more freedom in my life, but the money is pretty good. So that was when I started. That was essentially my second business that hit 6 figures, and we did, we're doing like $20,000 a month for the second half of 2019, 15 to 20 grand a month, which is pretty decent, right? So that's a really great way to get started, because if you can do something for someone, people are more likely to, first of all, pay you money, and secondly, pay you more money, like a higher amount of money, rather than if you were to show someone how to do it in like an online product, for example. So that's a really great way to, especially if you're getting started, like becoming a freelancer is probably the best way to make money while living in a van. And if you really have a really specialized job, then you can actually demand, and if you really focus down on one thing, like if I was to focus on just being like a Facebook ads marketer, so Facebook ads expert, I could probably charge clients $4,000 to $5,000 a month, have 2 or 3 of those clients. So would that be $8,000 to $12,000 a month? If you choose your clients the right way, who have really great products, that would probably only take you, initially setting them up might take you a few days, but once you've got them set up, it might only take you 1 or 2 hours per client each day to check in on your ads and launch new ads. So you'll only be working anywhere between 3 to 6 hours a day, making, let's say, 12 grand a month, which is pretty decent, right? And then you've got plenty of time to get out there and explore. So if I was to encourage anyone on where to start, if you're a beginner, as long as you have a specialized skill that people are willing to hire for, then becoming a freelancer or an agency owner is definitely one of the best places.
Let's go, dive into the deep blue sky. Come with me to paradise. Can't you hear it calling us?
Now, the next best way, or one of the best ways for me at least over the last few years, has been through online information products. Now, I can rope this into a bunch of different things that I mentioned in the TikTok video individually, and that is online virtual summit products, information products like, for example, we did a 5-day detox program, group coaching programs as well, because it's an online thing, an online group coaching program. It's an online sale, it's delivered online. So anything with an online delivery of information, it could be like coaching, things like that. So all of those types of things. Over the last, especially in my first business, we did thousands and thousands of sales like this for online summits and running ads for clients and being a part of their promotions and stuff. I've definitely seen at least 15 to 20,000 transactions made online for these types of programs, resulting in millions of dollars in sales. So there's a lot of money to be made in this if you're doing it the right way. However, it is very much a large volume game. So you need to be good at building audience, whether that's through an organic social media and things like that, or through paid media, which is running ads on Facebook and YouTube, for example. Online information products are great because there's very little cost to deliver them, right? So whereas if you had a product, your margins might be like 15 to 20%, or your profits. Whereas with an online information product, then if you're doing it organically, then it's like almost 100% profit. Whereas if you're running ads, it might be anywhere between 40 to 60% profit, which is still amazing, right? So that's how we were able to build that first business up to, at the height of it, we would have done about $220,000 in that year in sales. And that was because we had a lot of really great information products, right? So it can absolutely be done. It's definitely becoming a little bit more competitive these days. So you've got to be a little bit more thoughtful about what you want to put out there and how you stand out from everybody else. But a really great way to make money, especially if you are driving around the van, because once you've got it automated, then you only need to bring in maybe 5 or 10 sales a week at $100, and that's definitely enough to live in a van. So a really great way to make money while living in a van.
Pack my bags, get my goals. Just when I was losing hope, I saw you standing there on the street. And you said, "Do you wanna go?"
So much wildlife down here. What I love about the Gold Coast is this is pretty much rainforest, right? So you've got the amazing beaches all along the coast, which you would have seen in a previous video. If you haven't checked that out yet, it'll be linked in the description. But then you drive anywhere between 20 to 40 minutes and you're essentially just like in the middle of a rainforest with all of this amazing wildlife, all the beauty of the trees and the plants and the shrubs. And how much more could you want in life than those two things, plus some amazing cafes to eat at all of the time? By the time you finish watching all of my videos, I'm definitely gonna convince you why this is my favorite place on earth. And if you haven't visited the Gold Coast, then definitely come by, check it out. Let me know when you're here and I can point you in the right directions of places to go. But especially if you're living in a van, so many amazing places, so many crazy birds that sound like dinosaurs. What are they? Velociraptors. It's what it reminds me of, those ones, cockatoos. But such an amazing place to live, and that's why I love it so much.
We'll be like, we're gonna rule the world. We're gonna rule the world. We'll be like.
So I guess the next question is then, well, that's good for you, Mitch, but I don't know how to do any of these things, and I have no skills, no experience, no friends, no contacts, no money. And the truth is I didn't either. Like I said, I was a tradie, and all I knew is that I wanted to live the lifestyle that the people who were doing what I'm doing right now, what they were doing back then. And so I just made it my mission, and I decided to, instead of go out every weekend, instead of to go drinking all the time, instead of watching TV, I decided to start learning. And you can learn a lot through YouTube, but you learn the most through experimenting and trying things. I tried all sorts of things before I got something to work. And if I didn't learn those things that you would call a failure, then I wouldn't have been able to get to where I am today. what you'll realize is all of the little things that you try and they don't work out as what you're hoping for them to work out as, they just build upon each other so that eventually something will hit and you'll be ready for that success. Because if you don't have all of those skills, then you won't actually be ready. Not only that, because I tried a bunch of different things, now that when I hire people, I know how long it should take them. Perfect example is I hired this person to start building some web pages for me, and the first page that he built, it took him 10 hours. I said, well, man, like, I've been hiring and doing this type of work for 5 years. That page should not have taken you any more than 3 hours. And after we had that conversation, every other page is, funnily enough, taking him 3 hours to do, right? So if I didn't know that, then I would be overpaying this contractor. He'd have a cruisy job. He'd be essentially ripping me off. But because I was able to have that stern conversation with him initially, then he's actually a really good worker right now. And I wouldn't have known that if I didn't get those skills myself. The best place to start is through action, firstly, but you can learn a lot through YouTube. However, there's going to come a time where you'll find the thing that you really want to do, and it's best to invest in an online program. So the best online program for me at the time, and has probably made me at least half of that money that I've made online, so at least $250,000, is through online virtual summits. And I paid at the time $297 for this program, and it's now, like I said, that's actually brought in most of my money. So let's say $400,000. So the return on investment for that $300 program is insane, right? It's made me $400,000. That's me personally. For my clients, it's made over $1 million. So pretty amazing, right? And that's the power of investing in things that actually work. You're not going to become an online marketer by going in and doing it at school, like at a university or anything like that. Those programs are completely outdated. By the time you learn what's in the curriculum, you'll be completely outdated and irrelevant. Not only that, but companies aren't looking for that anymore. They're looking for people with experience. They're looking for people who can get the job done. I was actually a marketing manager for this company in Sydney CBD for a period of time with 0 marketing qualifications, absolutely none. But what I showed them is that I can actually get results. I can build funnels that make money. And I proved that to them, right, through the work that I did during the interview. They didn't ask for a resume. They just wanted to know that I could get the job done. And when I left, they offered me more money because they wanted me to stay. They offered me to work from home or in the van because they wanted me to stay. So that says a lot, right? If how many people get that opportunity when they leave a job because what the work that they do is so effective. So it comes down to your attitude. If you've got an attitude, a can-do attitude, if you're willing to source out the right information yourself, then you will make it. But if you're expecting someone to put it on a plate for you, it's just not going to happen. So get out there, start just trying things, do things that you get curious. Being curious is one of the best things that you can be when wanting to do this type of lifestyle. Start learning from people. Start reaching out to people, start investing in programs to get closer to people who are doing it. And eventually you'll get there too. All right, we're getting a little bit more into the rugged bushland, which means this waterfall, it's getting very, very close. That protection of the rainforest isn't above us anymore. We're getting close to this waterfall. I can not only hear it, but I can, how you get like this fresh air smell when you're around a waterfall and like everything seems peaceful? I can feel that right now. So we're nearly there. Now, I also want to talk about the biggest misconception that people make when starting an online business, and that is, I need to get my followers first before I start promoting anything. And that's not necessarily true. While it can be true, it's definitely not a good mindset to have because you're limiting yourself. And secondly, I'm proof of that, right? Because on all of my platforms, I've got right at this time, right about 1,000 YouTube followers. At this time, less than 1,500 Instagram. less than 2,000 on my email list, but I'm still generating, like I said, you know, last month was $7,000, so like $11,000, right? That's just a really limiting belief to have. I know people, I've met a number of people, especially women in particular. I'm not sure why women as such, but they're like, oh, I can't wait I just really want to get to that 10,000 Instagram followers mark, and then brands will start working with me and they'll pay that $500 per post. I was like, well, you know, if you provide a value to that following as is at your 8,000 people, you could be making $500 per day, let alone $500 per post from a brand deal and things like that. So you just don't want to limit yourself in that way. There are other ways to make money by advertising your products. You can do joint ventures with other people who already have an existing network, and you pay them a commission every time they make a sale. You can run ads. And you've just got to realize that there's a cost to acquire a customer. Every single established business who have been in business for a number of years realize that there's a cost to acquire a customer, and that's built into their costs of their entire business, right? Whereas I think the biggest misconception, especially that's what I had getting started, is that every sale you make is profit for you to use in your life, or for you to take and use as your own money. But it's not necessarily true. The money that you make should be reinvested back into getting more customers. You know, you've got to realize that there's a margin there that you need to keep reinvesting. So don't think that you need to have an audience to get started. You can get started today with no audience. The people making the most amount of money in this world have zero audience. I can guarantee you that. So I absolutely bet there are dozens of billionaires out there who have less than 1,000 followers on Instagram. So just don't limit yourself in that way. Realize that it can actually be done in many different ways. You just got to be creative. You got to think about it. You've got to do deals with people. You've got to build relationships, and you've got to learn the skills that actually get you there. So definitely don't hold yourself back by thinking you need an audience to get started. And really, to finish up, there are some of the best ways to actually do it. Of course, there's more ways. You can sell products, which I don't have experience in yet, but I will have very soon. I'll be able to share more about that with you. So online e-commerce products. But I guess the final thing is I want this video to be specific to van life as well. If you are going to build an online business, then you need to make sure your van is set up for that. For a perfect example, happened to me right now. As soon as I started flying that drone, it was a bit of a failure. I got out there just probably about 500 meters, and I got this warning sign that the battery is about to die. And I thought, oh, I've got a little bit longer. And then I was trying to go into where the waterfall was, and they're like, and then it came up with a message that you only have enough battery to get yourself home. And I was like, holy shit. You know, this is definitely not the place that I want a drone to be going down because of a flat battery. So I'll never find it. So I had to come back, and basically that's the final thing is you've got to realize that you've got to invest in having more power, reliable internet. You've got to think about where you're going to stay. So for me, for example, if you haven't seen my van build or the things I would change about my van, then go check that video out. Be linked in the description below for afterwards. Didn't have enough power when I bought my van. I didn't know how much power I needed. I figured it out, right? And I just had to invest another $3,000 into getting some external battery packs, and that seemed to solve the problem. However, I still forgot to charge up the drone today. But in saying that, I charged them up, but the drone battery went flat just on its own without even being used. So that was kind of annoying.
I feel like a kid again, like summer nights that never end.
I'm super grateful that I get to live this life. However, it didn't come easily, right? Just realize there's a cost, and sometimes that cost is spending all your spare time learning rather than going out with friends or having relationships or going surfing. You've got to be learning as much as possible in the early days. You've got to be trying as many things in the early days, and it might consume a lot of your life a lot of the time, but to realize that the payoff within a year, 2, 3 years, hell, Even if it even takes 5 years, that's better than doing something you hate for your entire life, right? If this appeals to you, then definitely go do your own research, start learning, and let me know how you go. And when you make your first sale online, let me know. I'd love to celebrate that with you. When you make your first $100,000 online, let me know, and I'd love to celebrate that with you as well. So hope you enjoyed this. If you did like it, leave a comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.